Does it all post to though?
It's right now. It's just going to YouTube.
Okay,
Yep.
that is a bet.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it right now on the YouTube, trying to see. Look,
I'll
yeah,
see
there
if
you
it's
go.
gonna come up.
Oh yeah, it look good.
It look good. That's a bet.
But nah, bro. Let's go ahead and get into this. How y'all doing, man? We got a little office hours going on. You feel me? A little overtime. A little overtime. We putting it on the Workman podcast.
OT.
Got your boy Christian. Got me, Elgin. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I don't know if anybody on. If anybody on, just comment your name in there real quick so I can see who I'm talking to.
Yeah, and state your
You
name. Where
feel
you
me?
from? Rep
Yeah.
your rep your set real quick.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't be
ah,
saying that in Cali, bro. You can't be saying
chill
that in
out, be
Cali.
cool. Everybody got a
You gotta
set,
be
bro.
careful.
Everybody got a set, bro.
Everybody.
Everybody literally got a set.
But nah, bro, we just wanted to hop on here real quick. Not nothing too long, just keep giving as much knowledge that we can on our area of expertise. So today we just want to talk about how to determine your desired career path because this is something I think a lot of people are struggling with just based on society as a whole right now. There's so much information being flooded into our brains, and it's probably the most options that people have ever had in their life, as
Yeah,
far as like career paths that they could take. Bro. So yeah, I don't know
yeah. I
if you want to
mean,
speak
like
on
especially with everything going on with like the pandemic. Um, a lot of people are like finding different ways to tap into something else that's beyond just the general like things that you learn from like school, your
that.
arithmetic, your science, your English, whatever, kind of things that we're taught growing up. Like, yeah, you have to go learn these things. So all of a sudden we get into the real world, and then we realize there's a whole bunch of other different opportunities that can come, from doing different things, you know. So like you said, it's a whole bunch of different knowledge that people are being exposed to. So I think the main thing is when thinking about this information, you have to know how to pick the trees from the forest, right?
Exactly.
You have to be able to pick out specifically what information applies to you. The only way you can really do that is if you really know like who you are as a person, what your strengths are, and what you feel like you're naturally good at and naturally suited to do. And also align that with whatever purpose you feel you need to walk in while you're sitting here on this earth. So I think all those things you need to sit there and tie it together for you to really sit there and pick a path forward, to kind of walk down. So I mean, we could just start off by saying that, like for you, for experience, for example, like you work in the field that you work in as an engineer. Engineering has a whole bunch of different avenues that can be taken. So why did you specifically choose your field? Like and then go basically just go over exactly just a little brief synopsis of what you do for real. As far as your role in the
So
industry.
yeah, the way I decided on my career, I had a few options. Coming out of college, had a few offers. I had already interned at Lockheed Martin, where I did more of a technical role, and I knew based on that role that was not something that I wanted to do as far as long term and have a long tenure in that space. So I made sure like whenever I went on interviews or talked to different companies that they had like project management roles, more things that oriented like in the field and more hands on, more active with the day to day operations of the different parts of the process. So it's just getting that experience up front, like trying things, not being afraid to try things, get stuff wrong. That way you can tell what you actually like. I think that's a big part of it. And also just understanding yourself. So for me, I understood that I'm not a very technical based person. I don't like to do, subject matter expert type of role activity. I like to do more of a, driven projects as far as being a driver of a project from start to finish, seeing it I guess, manifest from point A to point B. That's more the things I like to do. I don't like to, just analyze different, aspects of, small details. I like the grand scheme, big picture type deal thing. So just understanding what type of person you are, I think is going to cut out a lot of that, I guess, confusion on which way you should go in your career path.
Right. And I think you won't really, because we always have a general idea, like based on the things that we are like that we learn in school. So once we taught these things A B C D E F G, right, in school, it's like we had this specified curriculum for this field of study. But then honestly, when you get into the field, it's like, oh, there's a whole myriad of different opportunities when it comes to that specific degree, right? So for like example, mechanical engineering, um, I would say honestly, knowing the different aspects of mechanical engineering and as far as what we learned throughout our coursework, it was really that like the coursework and curriculum of mechanical engineering actually prepared you to do everything. And that's the reason why I chose mechanical engineering specifically because I kind of listened to what it was. It was like dealing more with dealing more with structures, dealing more with you know static, you know, things that basically stood still, as opposed to as opposed to things that have a whole lot of dynamic movement, right? I knew that mechanical when first going in, I was out of high school. I was like, well, I'm like, I want to play baseball. Like that's all I was thinking about for real. Like just to be straight up honest, I didn't really decide my major until maybe like solidified until like maybe my junior, senior year, for real, of high school. And even then, it was more so along the lines of I chose it because I somehow wanted to bring it back to the game of baseball because I wanted to be I still wanted to be on the still play a role in the STEM field, but still find a way to apply it to that niche that I have for the game, right? So that's either building equipment, building stadiums, whatever the case may be. However I can get it in, that's how I wanted to get it in. I just wanted to find a way to do it. Um, but like once I actually got into the field, um, realized, I learned a lot of different things that I feel like could be applied to that. But it wasn't until I actually got to go to work where it was like, whoa, I learned all this in school, but there was so many different things that can be applied. That you can different so many different roles that you can actually fit in. Once you actually get into the workplace, like I got a mechanical degree, but I'm in quality assurance.
I think that's a key point that you're hitting, because that's I think that's good if you really don't, you're not sure exactly like what you want to do. Just find a field that gives you a whole bunch of options. And
Right.
mechanical engineering is probably like one of the best majors that you can get as far as options, bro, because you can do project management, you could do design, you could do manufacturing. Like
You
it's
do
so many
analysis.
different, yeah,
Yeah.
like it's so many different ways you can go with it. You can go into the tech hardware industry, like
Right.
mechanical engineering, pretty much everything has it in there. But like when you get to like those other forms of engineering, like aerospace, you just stuck to aerospace.
Space. You go to
Or like
electrical, you
chemical
stuck with
engineering,
electrical.
you
You go
stuck
to
with chemical. Like
right. You go to
but
electrical,
like
you stuck with
yeah.
electrical. Right.
But like I work at a chemical plant and I'm a mechanical engineer and I'm working in the engineering department, because pretty much every aspect of manufacturing something or creating anything has a mechanical,
Component to it.
physical aspect to it. Yeah, even computers have a physical aspect to them.
Right.
Like you have to have a hardware to go along with it. So finding those fields that do things of that nature as far as just broad scopes is a great one. I think mechanical engineering is a good one. But if you if you don't see yourself as an engineering type of person, I think that you could break it down into like a systemized approach to where you could find what you want to, pursue. And
Right.
the way I look at it is part one will basically be what are you good at? Like what are you naturally good at? Are you good at math, English, science? You have a good memory, you good at biology or something like that. or
Mm-hmm.
you I don't know, something like that. Like, what are you good at? That's the first thing I would start with. And then once you find out what you're good at, then determine what do people tell you that you're good at. Like, do people say, bro, I don't know how you solved that problem. Like, that was so hard to me. How'd you even do that? Or
Right.
the way that you write is like so easy to understand, and you tell good stories. You're a good storyteller. Like, maybe you should be a journalist or something like that. Look into
Mm-hmm.
journalism or something. It's like finding those things like that people tell you that you're good at. And then after that, it's pretty much determining what are you interested in, because some people might be good at something, but then at the end of the day, they don't want to pursue that as a career. We know a lot of people like that who are gifted in things, but they just don't like
Want to do
doing
it?
it.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you feel me? But um I think it's important that we find those things early that you're interested in. That way you can start developing those skills. Like, say if you want to learn how to code, maybe you should, start that in high school. That way when you get to college, you already have an understanding going into the computer science degree, instead of you, picking the wrong major going into college, and then halfway through college you're trying to catch on to the coding wave. You got people who've already been coding since they were in middle school. So it's like
Right.
just finding those things that you're already interested in early, that way you can do them. And then other than that, it's just the last thing is just what's holding you back. Like, what what things are being said as either deterring you from your path, or are you afraid deep down inside, or are your parents not supportive? And I know that's like one of the things that's really hard for a lot of people, is that their parents aren't supportive of the things that they actually want to do. Like, a lot of people have parents who kind of overbearing and telling them what to do and what to go to school for, and that
Mm-hmm.
might not necessarily be their passion, bro.
Yeah, bro. And just leading to that, it was like it's like also when you have your parents, like you also you gotta realize it's your life, right? Ultimately, you're the person that's gonna go get this degree. You're the person that's got to go put the work in to do it. So why would you sit here and do basically follow somebody else's passion? That's like basically like going to work for somebody else, as opposed to working for yourself. And it's exactly like that, you know.
Exactly.
So why not? If you're gonna go get a degree, and you want to go down that road, to make sure it's something that you want to get, you want to do, right? Like even for me, for instance, I got my degree, but I was considering getting my master's. Now I done went down and said, okay, I'm gonna just get a certificate, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to just approach getting a certificate, because a master's is 2 to 3 years, a certificate is like 1 year. Um, and a certificate is very specific, but I don't want to spend my time getting a master's that I'm when I get like 2 years in, 1 year in, I've done put all this time and money and effort into, and then I really get down to really learning what it is really comprised of, and then say I don't want to do this no more. Because the last thing you want to do is start putting your energy and effort into something, and then say I don't want to do it anymore. Because not only
Exactly.
does that, not only will you have to backtrack and go back to square one to figure stuff out, but now it's almost as if now you're kind of almost letting yourself down, because you never want to be the person that goes back on their word or goes back on saying they were going to do something and didn't complete it. And that's going to always sit with you for the rest of your life. You see what I'm saying? That's always going to be somewhat of a regret, you know. At least that's how I personally feel when it comes to things like that. Because I hate doing stuff, like starting to do stuff, and then all of a sudden, I don't want to do it anymore. Um, even though I put all this energy and time into it, you know. So uh, personally, just make sure that you're always trying your best to always make sure you put yourself and your thought and your heart into everything first. I feel like that's very, very important when it comes to picking your degree. And just really not even your degree, just basically doing what you want to do in life, for real, for real. You want to be able to say that I'm doing this because I want to do this, not because anybody else said I should go do it. And most times, like, don't. And the main thing is, like, most people tell you to. Some people may tell you go do it because of the money. Like, like yeah, I chose engineering partly because of the amount of money I saw that I could make, but I also made sure that if I was going to do this, I was still interested in it. I'm not gonna go do something that I don't that I'm not interested in. I don't care how much money in it, because at the end of the day, money isn't everything. Money can help a lot of things, but money isn't everything, especially when it comes to your personal peace. You feel me? You gotta sacrifice your personal peace for some money. I don't think that's worth it. You
Oh
know,
no, that's never worth it. It's never
that's
worth it.
definitely not worth it, bro. So I feel like when it comes to just follow trying to select your path and find your path, find out what you're interested in. I've recently learned, like, not only um like, not only am I analytical thinker, I've realized, being in my first 2 years of work, that I actually like analytics, like data analytics. I know how to look at data. I know how to compartmentalize data. I know how to make the data tell a story. And I know how to explain the data. So now I'm looking at, like, well, maybe that's the route I want to go, because now, data, analyzing data is something that everybody needs. And everybody can look at a big chunk of data and make it make sense. But for
Right.
some reason, I was always able to do that, even when it came to, like, ACT. I know when I now I'm thinking about, well, how did I learn about that? Like, how do I, how did I started, like, going back into my memory, and I realized, like, think about the ACT on the science portion. It's nothing but reading graphs and making the graphs make sense. That's
Exactly.
and I always I score like a 25, 26 on the ACT every time on the science portion, because I knew how to read the graphs and make it make sense, and basically give the correct answer. So going all the way back to that time, now looking forward, it's like, okay, this is something I can see myself doing, and
And it kind of aligns with your personality, right? Because you are a high S personality, very supportive person, and that aligns perfectly with what you want to do as far as your
right,
career too. So I think
right,
we all naturally gravitate to things that align with our personality.
exactly, exactly. But it's just about
So
being
yeah,
aware of it. It's about being
exactly.
aware of it and being able to, uh, not only be aware of it, but embrace it. Don't fight it,
Right.
because the last thing you want to do is go into your field, and then you feel like you fighting against something every day. If you have that feeling, then obviously that's something that you shouldn't need, you don't need to be doing. That's
Right.
why, if you go into your major, don't think just because you start in one major that you have to finish it. You have to finish that way. I done seen people going to a certain degree, and make a complete 360, or I'm sorry, 180, and go the other way, and they end up being very happy, because they actually followed the path that they took an initial path that they thought was for them, realized it wasn't, early on, right? And that's the perfect time to do it, especially as in school, because you don't want to go
Yeah,
ahead and get a
because if
whole
you
degree
don't,
and
yeah,
not do and not
if you don't
yeah not get
change,
a
bro,
job in it.
right? If you don't change it, bro, you gonna be depressed, bro. You gonna be sad because
Very
your soul always gonna yearn to be where it wants to, where it knows it's supposed to be.
right, exactly, exactly. And so
You
don't
just
ever
gonna
think
you just
that
gonna
you're
be
old.
miserable.
Don't ever think that you're gonna just know, like, that you just gonna know, like, the whole time. You're forever changing. You're forever learning
Oh yeah,
yourself. You're
you
forever
gotta
growing.
always like put yourself through trials and try new things. Be open. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Be open. You got to be open to these different ideas that come and flow through you. Like, I mean, that's why we're here on Earth. We're really here on Earth to learn ourselves, so that way,
hmm
we can follow our purpose. Complete our job, and then go on to the next life for real. But
right, bro.
it's a
There's
journey that
no
has to be
money in the
taken.
world. Yeah, no money in the world is gonna get you to the level of peace that you want to be at from a heavenly standpoint. There's no amount of money that you could ever attain because that's why you have a lot of billionaires who once they become billionaires they're still miserable or they have terrible relationships with their spouse. You got Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates getting divorces and they two of the most richest people in the world. You telling me that they can't find a way to make their wife happy? It's because money is nothing towards happiness. It has nothing to do with your spirit and your soul on the inside. That's why you have to make sure that your work and your life all align to one direction and it's going to create this streamline that's going to be something that's way greater than this earth can ever give you. You feel me? Because you're going to be moving in your righteous spirit.
And guess what? As soon as you follow your path, like, because guess what? Once you following your path and you're genuinely happy, you're not worried about the money. You're just worried
Exactly.
about following your purpose. And guess what? Once you follow your purpose and you follow and you're aligning yourself with what you really want to do, and it's making you genuinely happy and you're at peace, the money gonna come in. It's gonna come in how it needs to. You feel me? Like, and it's probably gonna flow in even greater than what you thought it was gonna be doing something else. Because guess what? When you're aligning yourself and you're naturally in your when you're in your most natural state and you're aligned with your purpose, then it's like the blinders are on. That the focus now your focus increases because now you're focused on just doing what you said that you set out to do. You feel me?
Exactly.
And you're not going to even realize as you continue to move forward, like what you're really gaining and abundantly gaining throughout the process because you're not worried about the money along the way. You're just worried about the process and making sure you serving your purpose every day.
Exactly. Just fine tuning your process every day is key. But yeah, I want to add this to. So we talked about what we do. We both mechanical engineers. This is the top 30 best college majors going in 2021. Um, you see, number one is petroleum engineering. That's a great field to go into right now. They're trying to find more effective ways to, drill oil and, go into reservoirs and,
Right.
things of that. Also, cybersecurity. That's a huge one. With the rise of the internet, artificial intelligence, uh,
Mm-hmm.
fintech, finance, technology, things of that nature. You need cybersecurity. This is a huge need, and it's high demand, very low supply right now. They have very low supply of people who have gotten the skills to get into this space.
And let me tell you why, real
Because
quick.
yeah,
Just because I work in the field that I work in, right? And like working in aerospace as well. Like you are at the more technology increases, right? That means more software is developed, right? We're creating new ways to allow these different pieces of technology to communicate with each other. If hardware or if software does if hardware and software right don't communicate aren't able to communicate with each other, not only being able to communicate with each other, but also be protected. That's really what cybersecurity is about. Being able to protect whatever that um, being to be able to protect whatever that domain is, but that software is. Because the last thing you want is for something to happen in the process while that hardware and that software is communicating with each other, and that data or whatever gets compromised. Because guess what? People won't see you fall, like straight up. So if you're developing something like that, you got to expect for people to come and try, especially if you know it's it's something great as well. You gonna need something to protect, and that's really kind of what cybersecurity really is, as far as creating those data architectures and everything else to streamline those processes too. So it's
exactly.
like it's a real unique field, but it's a real need, especially in today's like society, as technology is starting to develop and be able to how technology is increasing and becoming more advanced. Especially artificial intelligence, all that stuff. They got to have cybersecurity to back those things up.
Right, and that's something that you don't even necessarily need to go to college to do. Um, to become a cybersecurity analyst or expert, because they have, with the crypto currency field, they have people who just attempt to hack the software. They like pay people to attempt to hack the software, and those people don't necessarily have to have college degrees, and they pay them like $100 an hour just to continuously try to hack the software.
Right. So guess what? You need somebody to help protect the software. That's
Right,
keeping up. That's keeping up that whatever that exchange is. I know people, especially with all these cryptos, new cryptos being developed, NFTs, all that stuff. You
right,
want to be able to protect those things. So you could be that person protecting those assets. Those are people's assets at the end of the day. You feel me?
exactly.
So it's like, but all you got to realize, everything is so digital now that you have to be able to protect it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because they pay
Hmm.
people to do that.
If
Like they
you
pay
can't
people to hack
protect
stuff.
it, it's really the value goes down so much more. That's why cryptocurrency is so is the value is going up so much is because of the protection that's on it.
Right.
The way that it's decentralized, unhackable, all of these things increase the value of things. The same way a bank is extremely valuable. If the money was just flying around all over the place, that the money would have no value. But the
Yep.
fact that it's secured is the reason why it holds any value.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a good one. Cybersecurity, nuclear engineering, software engineering. Kind of talked about that. Nuclear and petroleum are very similar.
Yeah,
Um,
and software and cybersecurity are a little bit similar, but software engineers basically just like developing the software of whatever is being used. Whereas cybersecurity is making sure that those assets or whatever is being developed is protected. Keeping those
yep.
firewalls up or whatever. So but they fall in the same category for real because you still don't know the same those similar basic fundamental skills like C++, Python, um,
Right.
SQ, all that stuff. So,
This one's kind of surprising to me, physics, but I guess it's
physics.
kind of not because with all the
Hey,
things we've been doing with space, it's been a lot.
and
I
not
think.
even that, but like people don't realize, like, especially when I think that's one thing I would that attracted me to mechanical engineering too. I realized I was good at physics. I was like I
Yeah,
was really good. I realized I was really good at physics. But that's because physics can be applied to anything and everything. Physics is everything.
everything.
That just deals with matter.
It's
That deals
crazy.
with matter, bro. Forces that's applied. You apply force by opening the door. There's a amount of force that you use to turn a knob. Like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So it's different
Physics was like
things.
one of my favorite subjects for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely like physics, bro. And it
I
can be
love
applied
it.
in everything, bro. So that's definitely something that people
I'm just trying to see like
do.
how it's applied, like in like the like corporate, not the corporate world, but like just the capital society world. Like how are they applying physics? Because I
Yeah.
know how all this other stuff is being applied. It's just
And,
physics. It just seems so broad to me. I'm just trying to figure out where exactly they've been using that at.
I mean, they can use like astrophysics. So especially with everything going into
Right?
space,
Like space is the only place I can see
like
it. But
space,
yeah, because
civil
they do got
engineering,
SpaceX. They trying
civil
to go to
engineering as
space.
well,
Yeah.
building the roadways. There's different
Yeah.
forces.
True.
Yeah,
True.
so civil engineering because you have to build
Yeah.
structures, right? Houses, really like
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it kind of it's a real it's very it's a very unique field, but it just the fact that it's specific knowledge though. That's why it's so highly valued for real. If you really know what you're talking about.
Okay. We got IT, health industry, game design. I think this is a very up and coming
Yeah, it's low-key
niche
slept
thing
on.
that a lot of people can get into, especially if you're a gaming type of person, which I know a lot of gaming people. That's a huge one that you can get into. Those those games are like getting so like robust with the CGI characters that they've been displaying, and it looks like a
Hmm.
movie, really, bro. But yeah, you can hit on some of these too, bro, if you want. There you go.
What else we got? I got my phone on here, so let's see. Let's see. Public administration, liberal arts, biomedical engineering. That's a good one right there. Biomedical engineering. That's definitely a good one. Cause I actually consider biomedical engineering at one point. Uh, Cause biomedical engineering is nothing but taking those mechanical engineering concepts. Dealing with physics, dealing with forces, dealing with motion, dealing with the design. You can, like you said, it's a very, very broad field of structures, and just using it for the medical field. So now you're talking about creating things and developing things specifically for uh, people for like rehabilitation. Like, so I consider biomedical engineering at one point. Um, either be like rehabilitation. It can be something. It can be designing things specifically related to the health field. Prosthetics, which is a big need because a lot of people that's amputees. Um, a lot of different things for real, paraplegics, all that stuff. So biomedical engineering is a very, very like I like the concept of biomedical engineering, because it's a definite need when it comes to like healthcare and stuff like that too. So
Ooh, this a big one. Communications and marketing, those kind of go hand in hand. I think marketing is taken off to a whole different level, especially with the social media,
media,
digital
yep,
marketing as well. Like not just traditional, just on TV and newspaper ad and
right. They're
commercials and
Talking
stuff
about
like
Google ads. They have ads on
yeah, like
literally everything, bro.
Facebook ads, bro. You can make a good living just doing social media marketing, just social media,
A lot of
or
people's
like
marketing
just
aren't even
Facebook
in.
ads.
A lot of people, a lot of people's ads and marketing isn't even doesn't even deal with television anymore, bro. It's all social media because that's what everybody refers to. Everybody's on it every single day. Like that's what a lot of people go for
Exactly.
their news. Like you know what I'm saying? All the ads that are played are on forms of social media like YouTube. There's so many ads that's played on YouTube. Like now you have like ads for up and coming artists that just play in the middle of a video. Where it's like, you used to have platforms like VH1, MTV, BET, whatever. When people don't even really like look at those things anymore for like to see those up and coming artists. Now you got YouTube ads where people put their videos on YouTube and get paid for it. You feel me? So somebody needs to promote that. There needs to be a certain person that can really like market those people's skills and what in their service or whatever they provide. So yeah, marketing communication is definitely a big one too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that was the main ones though
Yeah, yeah.
that piqued my interest. Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
Oh
And you
yeah.
see the salaries on it, boy. The cybersecurity salary. Let's see what that is.
Stupid. I already know.
116. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
nah,
good.
yeah, stupid. Crazy.
Phew. Software engineering 101. And a lot of these are way higher than that.
Oh yeah, that's
This
for sure.
just
It's
averages.
like averages, right? And depending on what field you go in, it could go up. You feel me? Like what or not what field, but what industry. Because some certain industries value those positions a little bit more than others.
Economics. Always need economics,
Oh yeah, that's always going to be economics for sure.
especially in the United States. That's huge.
Nothing but the
But
economy.
yeah,
That's all we
petroleum
worry about is the
engineering, I
economy.
could see that being number one, bro. I could definitely see that being number one.
Oh yeah, petroleum engineers make bread, sir. Like
Yeah.
especially with us, especially with the with things trying to figure out especially with the up and coming these new ideas when it comes to like fossil fuels
Yep.
and how we trying to create new renewable energy and everything like that. That's still all petroleum engineering because we're still using oil and gas. But it's like, okay, how do we, you know, make this more efficient, right? So that's all
Exactly.
that ties into renewable energy, and that's what everything is alluding into. Like honestly, I won't be surprised. Like it just says it's gonna take that one person to develop the. Um, I was just talking to this with my old lady actually, because she had brought it up about they're making a lot more electric cars. I was actually talking to she was with Josiah actually, and he was like, electric cars are really not that efficient because you're still using power for real, for real. You're still using
Exactly. They're
energy,
not. It's
but
really just a facade at
that's
this point.
yeah. But I was like, well, and I was like, yeah, actually, if it the next best thing is gonna be solar energy. It's just that it's gonna take somebody. It's gonna take the development of a strong enough solar cell to hold enough power to power an entire car when the sun isn't outside. It's just that
Exactly.
they haven't developed the solar cell powerful enough to hold all that energy to power a car at the same amount of voltage and same level of
Right.
power that an
They
electric
can
battery
they
does.
can
Yeah.
capture it. It's just holding it and storing it is the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, exactly. Holding it and storing it, and then
Right.
find a way to
They can
kind
be
of recycle
captured.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And
I'm
use
like
it up
really
to.
like trying to figure out is there a way. I don't know why I'm saying this on air. I'm gonna talk to you later.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not about to say that right now
You hell wrong.
because people love to steal ideas. I ain't gonna cap.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. Quiet as kept. Nah, we yeah we don't worry. We gonna do bro. We got so many ideas like.
Right.
We gonna develop something. I promise
Oh
you.
yeah, it's being developed as we speak, like right
As we
now.
speak, yes,
The way that we
facts.
developing this right now. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. I mean, that's all I had, bro. I'm about to end the live. Um,
facts.
you guys just remember, start off with what are you good at? What do people tell you that you're good at? Find out what you're interested in early. Try new things if you're not sure. If you're not sure what you're good at or what people tell you you're good at, try new things until the end. And then
Yep.
find out what you like and what people say that you're good at. And then after that, decide, just make the decision. Take that leap, jump,
And look, and
find
then
out what's holding you back and do it.
and lastly, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. Fear is the only thing that holds you back from doing anything. Most times we don't really even have anything to fear, but it's just something that's played in our mind because we fear the unknown. You feel me? That's the only thing that holds us back. But once you realize,
Yep.
that's the only thing holding you back, that's where courage come in. Courage is not being the biggest baddest person in the room. It's overcoming that fear that you have to do something. That takes courage. Because 90, if not 90%, if not 95% of people succumb to that fear and hold in whatever action if they were going to take to prepare themselves forward. You know what I'm saying? So with every action that you take to overcome that fear, you know, always be proud of that. Even though it may seem small to you, or it may not seem small to you, it may seem small to somebody else, but to you it's an accomplishment because you wasn't gonna even do that before. You
Right.
feel me? So you have nothing to fear but fear yourself. And always continue to excel and try new things and get better every single day. That's all
Yep.
that you can do.
But that's all I got, man. Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.